In this video, I'm going to be walking you through a couple of the whys and hows of customer service SOPs, standard operating procedures. And I'm also going to give you four custom SOPs for customer service specifically that are going to help you run your business. In today's hyper customer focused business environment, one thing is going to set your business apart from the pack and ensure that you have a consistent, reliable flow of customers coming through your doors year after year after year. And that's the ability for your business to provide consistent, reliable, and excellent customer service and support. Customer service is one of those things, as Jeff Bezos puts it, that if you do wrong, a customer is going to tell 5,000 friends about it. But on the other hand, if you can master it, it's something that is going to pay dividends to your business, both metaphorically and literally for years to come. So let's get into customer service SOPs and standard operating procedures, the whys and hows. And I'm also going to end up giving you four must-have customer service SOPs, including one that's really easy to put together, but it is a must-have even for the most basic of customer service teams. Let's get into it. So the first thing that customer service SOPs do for you, and I'm actually going to give you four reasons why having SOPs is a must. The first thing is situational guidance. A lot of employees and customer service reps need to be trained on what to do in given situations. I would say that even if you're running a business, it's good for you as the business owner to have your own SOP for what to do in certain situations. It makes your life easier, it will make your employees' life easier, and it will give customers a sense that your business is actually a reputable shop. When you call a major Fortune 500 company, the one thing you can be sure of is that they have procedures for absolutely any case. Anything that comes up, any customer concern that comes up, any query that comes up, any need for information, they can either get you to the right person or they can give you the right information or help the customer out on the phone. That's the standard that you want to be held to as a small business or as a medium-sized business. You want that standard to be there so that your customers know and feel that you're actually bigger than you might actually be. Having situational guidance for your employees is critical. Knowing what to do, having them have the ability to know what to do in any given situation is absolutely critical. It's one of the main reasons you're going to need an SOP. So just a quick introduction. Who am I? My name is Fahad. I'm the managing partner of Meridian BPO. We're a full-service outsourcing firm. We help companies outsource key roles in areas like customer service, technical support, software development, medical billing, accounting, and a handful of other verticals. We end up saving customers close to 50 to 70% oftentimes on their staffing costs. So if that sounds interesting to you, do click the link below, and we can definitely get on a quick call to go over your needs. But anyway, let's get into what makes customer service SOPs so important. Now, with customer service, there's also a couple things called KPIs, key performance indicators, and these are obviously used in a lot of different parts of business, but in customer service, they're very important. Two of the main KPIs that are impacted the most by SOPs are going to be CSAT, which is customer satisfaction, and FCR. FCR means first call resolution, and I'll give you an example of what that means. First call resolution is simply this. When you call a customer service department, I'm sure we've all gotten on that call with the service department where you get to the department, you tell them about your concern, 30 minutes go by, you're on hold, and they're trying to figure it out. Then 45 minutes go by, still nothing. An hour goes by, then they get back on the phone with you, and they say, hey, actually, we can't actually handle this query. The other department will have to handle it. So then you get routed to the other department. You get put on hold for God knows how long. And then you better hope that, that department knows what they're doing. Sometimes that department doesn't know what they're doing. And then you might just end up getting routed back to the same department who you called originally. That is not optimal. For customers, that's not optimal. As customers, when we buy something, when we call into a service department, we do not want to be treated like that. Having good first call resolution means that your query will get answered on the first call. Having good, FCR is going to ensure that your customers are being taken care of, and there's not an issue that always there is a flow there so that whatever the situation might end up going, because customer queries can be different, right? They're usually different. The same thing might happen a couple times. Sometimes it might, a customer might have a query that throws a representative off. So it's very important that you have those flows available, so that for every situation that's possible, it has some kind of a resolution. It just, again, makes your business seem bigger than it is, and it's just good customer service. Now, piggybacking off of that, it's very important that you have the ability, that your reps have the ability to deal with unexpected situations. Again, if something comes up, you want to make sure that you are there, that there's a flow, there's a solution to every problem. Even if the solution is, we actually don't have, we can't actually give you an answer right now, but let me put a ticket in, let me, escalate this to the relevant department, and then we can kind of go from there. So it's very, very important that your agents and you have the ability to deal with unexpected situations with customers when they come up. One more reason is reducing the margin of error. Look, errors happen, things happen. What you don't want to happen is during a call, you don't want an agent to go in and have to update a record or make a change on someone's profile and have them mess up, and then that customer calls back some other time for another query. You can't even pull up their account, right? Because there was not a flow for how that information was supposed to go in there, a procedural, checklist, which we'll get into later, but a procedural way for customer service reps to actually input or edit or update information. Very important to reduce margin of error, that you have the ability, that you have an SOP in place, that walks people through, walks reps through exactly what needs to be done in given situations. Once you have that, your margin of error is going to go way, way, way down. Canned responses. Canned responses themselves are a form of SOP. Canned responses are basically a list of frequently asked questions. Now, if you've ever been in a sales situation, you probably know that there's a list of questions and queries and objections maybe that come up a lot. And so any good sales organization will take those queries and kind of systemize them, right? If a customer asks this, this is our response. If a customer asks this, this is our response. Customer asks this, has this concern, this is our response. This is the person, or if you don't know, this is the person who you should ask that kind of question from. Then you can get back to the customer with that information. So it's very important that you have a list of canned responses and FAQs that the service rep can come back to again and again and again. Now, canned responses also improve your KPIs a lot, and they are very essential for kind of opening and initiating conversations as well. So it's very important. It's really kind of a must-have for customer service and sales also, that you have a list of canned responses that your agents can use. Now, just to give you an idea, you can have canned responses for things like product-related questions, payment-related questions, delivery or refund-related concerns, concerns to, escalations, different departments that need to be actually, brought in to resolve a query. So there's a lot of things you can do, a lot of ways you can kind of use canned responses in a lot of parts of kind of the customer service process. So, it's good to have canned responses for all these different kinds of flows. The last thing I'd like to add here, canned responses, they're not just going to be non-tailored, kind of generic responses. You want tailored, kind of customized responses that are customized to your customer profile, to your business. And then you want to add a little bit, in my opinion, of leeway for the rep to kind of add in their personality as well. You don't want it to sound too robotic, right? Because when a customer is calling into a service department, they don't want to talk to the IVR system, right? They don't want to talk to, press 1 to do this, press 2 to do this. They want to talk to a human being and have a human being help them resolve their concern. So it's very important that you make sure your reps don't sound like robots on the phone, that they sound like human beings who are ready and willing to help your customers out. Now, another form of SOP, and this is something that's not actually, you can have a document for this, but it's usually better to actually go into your CRM system, whether that's Dynamics 365 or HubSpot or Salesforce. You want to make sure that you have these kind of in the system as opposed to in a procedural form. But these are going to be macros. Macros are basically ways to speed up repetitive tasks. So anything that a rep has to do repeatedly, update a customer record, input a new record. Maybe you're working with an EHR system. You need to kind of, upload the patient's kind of medical history or something like that. Macros are ways to speed that up, and you can actually go in and systemize those as well. You know what? I would actually have a document for that as well. I would keep a document separately, but I would also make sure, and the document would be just in case you have to actually go in and change your CRM system in the future. But it should be within the CRM that you have all of these kind of macros built in. And in the PDF I'm going to include down below, there will be a section on how to actually put macros in within Dynamics 365 if you're using that CRM system. So definitely make sure to hit the link down below and download that. The other beauty of macros is that they are just within the software. You don't really have to update them unless you want to, and they are pretty much set once, used forever. Now, I did mention earlier on in the introduction that there would be an SOP that I think is absolutely essential for any business and for any customer service department. And that's going to be checklists. So I'm not sure if you guys know this, but let's say 100, 150 years ago, when you used to go to get a surgery, it actually used to really have a high chance of death because things were kind of all over the place. There were not procedural kind of things in place to make sure that, doctors and surgeons are, everybody's there. They have all the tools, these basic things. And the one thing that cut out 40% of deaths, till now, when you go to, to get a surgery, there's a pretty low chance that you're going to actually have a fatality, depending on the complexity. But one thing that cut out all of those kind of that risk of fatality was checklists. Having checklists, having just a systemized, hey, we need to make sure we're doing this. We need to make sure we have this. We need to make sure all of these things are in place. All of these systems are on. Everything is okay. I have all the tools I need. Having checklists is a very simple and easy one SOP to put together. And two, it's just a simple way for you to make sure that you have everything. Pilots use this all the time. Hey, when I'm making videos, I also have a checklist that I use to make sure, my camera's working, my microphone's on. So having checklists is essential. If you're not going to have anything else, what I would recommend is you have a simple checklist. Make sure everything's there. Make sure that if a customer comes in, hey, this is just 1, 2, 3. Make sure you check these couple things with them. Checklists, again, just essential. They are really, really, really a must-have. Now, I also mentioned before a escalation matrix in the escalations kind of the responsibility section, of the parts of an SOP. An escalation matrix is essentially another form of SOP in which you lay out who the responsible parties are in any given kind of customer query, right? So let's say a customer comes in with a concern and it's just way over the head of the customer service rep, right? Maybe you run a technology platform or a SaaS company, software as a service company, and there's some part of it that's glitching. Maybe you're not, the customer service rep. The only thing they could really do in that situation is apologize to the customer and say, hey, we didn't know that happened. We didn't know this was a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a ticket in to the relevant department so that they can actually get back to you via email to help out. And so what will happen in that situation is the customer will come in. They will have, kind of a competence kind of checklist in a sense. And if it's above their competence level, if it's above their kind of pay grade in a sense, then you want to make sure that whoever is the relevant department, that ticket is actually getting, one, booked into the system, and two, that the rep is actually going to be able to, that the actual person who's going to be responsible that the query is going to be escalated to them. So having an escalation matrix will just kind of ensure that whether it's a level 1, 2, or 3 service rep, or whether it's someone in a completely different department, that the given concern is actually going to be escalated properly. So we've gone over kind of the whys of SOPs, why you should use them, the what's, the hows, and actually I've even given you 4 SOPs for you to use within your business, within your customer service kind of teams, to ensure that everything goes well. So what I'm going to recommend you do is go hit the link below. There are 4 SOPs there, the ones we talked about: CAN, responses, escalation matrix, all of those, in an easy to kind of read and actually easy to edit format, so that you can go in, make changes for yourself. There's also macros in there for Dynamics 365. So if you are using Dynamics 365 as your CRM, well, actually, you will have the ability to kind of see how you actually go in and add macros for those tasks that customer service reps are doing again and again and again, and they really shouldn't be. So, you can automate those with macros. Make sure you're also giving your reps training. I think that's also important. Creating the SOP is one thing, but you also want to make sure that agents are well trained on what to do in situations, and well trained on how to access SOPs and what SOPs they should be using in any given situation, which is, again, why we put the purpose of the SOP as number 1, kind of the main priority, so they can find it, so they can use it in the correct scenarios. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want somebody to come in and kind of make SOPs for you, again, we're in the outsourcing business, so we make SOPs all the time for our clients, so that they can interact with kind of our employees better. And so if you need somebody to kind of create SOPs for you, get in touch with me. There's a Calendly link down below. Be happy to get on a phone call with you. But otherwise, guys, please do like and subscribe if you found this content useful. There'll be more tips, tricks, all that kind of stuff coming out soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care. Bye-bye.